So, my regular vlog, which to include normal things, which I didn't include in my last video that I've just done. There's going to be a few tonight. Let's try and get up to speed. So today I was talking to management, who's just come back, and she's lovely and everything, but I was trying to explain to her about the new hours and stuff, and I told her I need a lot of sleep and stuff, because otherwise I'll be like a zombie, like I've got a tendency when I'm doing my job to go inwards, and I have to try really hard to wake up and go outwards, and I didn't say that to her, I just said so I'd just get even worse and I'll be like a walking zombie. And she's like, oh, so you would be like more, like even more of a misery guts or whatever she said. And to be fair, I was quite offended, but I just said, oh yeah, because I've learned like you have to agree with people when they say stuff, like, because otherwise you're seen as argumentative, even if you're just trying to clarify a fact, small detail. It's better just to go, yeah, it's kind of lying, but it's not, you have to not think about it. I mean, really then, if I've taken that decision, then I shouldn't be bitching about her behind her back. And so I don't want this to come across as bitching, because I really like her, but I wasn't so much upset or angry, it was more like disappointment really, because I thought she understood how I was and that I had no bad intentions towards anybody. I honestly don't. Oh no, not another crying one. Well, this will show the mood swing thing. 1 minute I'm like la la, and another minute I'm like, oh my god, but not like about myself usually. That would be stupid. It's more like suffering and stuff that goes on, bad things that go on, and it creeps in my head. Anyway, should really shut the door. When cats walk in and the door just goes ooh, like a ghost is coming in, and then they leave the door open and it's annoying. Yeah, so anyway, I thought she knew that I wasn't like moody, I was just introverted. Because I mean, if you spend your life being totally extroverted and then people were to ignore you or whatever, you'd be really hurt, wouldn't you? I don't know if that's making any sense. Other good news, Wednesday I'm going to Manchester for a course, and it'll be a long day because obviously I get up early at 5:30 now every day, and I'll have to for that, but then I'll have to get a train 2 hours to Manchester and 2 hours back at the end of a long, like a full day, although it is not at work, which is good. It is a day out in a way, but then obviously when I get in it'll be 8 something, and then I'll have to pretty much go to bed. By the time I've had tea and had a wash and stuff, I'll have to go to sleep and get up early for work again, but it's exciting nonetheless, and I'll get my tickets tomorrow from the booth, and I'll be doing that. It's exciting, and it's okay because I've been there before, I've got the train there before, I'm pretty sure I know the station pretty well, I know where to get the taxi from, so otherwise normally I'd be stressing about it and micro planning it and writing, taking what to do with me, but I'm pretty sure I know. I have fingers crossed things haven't changed. Look, when I do fingers crossed it looks like I'm swearing at you. Every time I do that I'm like, oh, fingers crossed it looks like I'm like swearing at you. I'm not, and I didn't do it then just for the sake of it, because it would have looked like so. Anyway, so there's that, and then I've got a few minutes left to do the hair thing, because the hair thing isn't really going to take very long because I've not been terribly adventurous. I always had really long hair as a child. My mum didn't take me to hairdressers. Now she, as you know, she's got Asperger's like me, and she didn't like hairdressers, so she didn't take us. to the hairdressers either. So my mum cut my hair, basically. Until I was an adult, my mum cut my hair straight across. And when I was younger, I really wanted it cut, like quite a bit off it, because it was thin, like, and it would have looked so much nicer. It still would have been long, but it would have been thicker and nicer. And when I got to be about 12, it went darker. Like, it used to be golden in the summer, like a light brown, and it would go golden in the summer, and then it just went duller at puberty. And I told my mum I wasn't happy, and like, I basically wanted highlights. I think she should have taken me for highlights and a haircut. Anyway, so she bought this hair dye. It said semi whatever, permanent, and it was basically permanent, and it went sort of orange-ish, not bright orange, but like a orangey blonde and frizzy, and it was permanent. And I had really long hair, and I had to grow out. So at that point I started dyeing it brown to try and cover it, but then it'd go different colours, and this went on through school. Dyeing it dark brown, 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 over brown, over brown. Then I went, I can't remember what I did then, whether I went red or whether I had a perm first, but I had a perm because I wanted more body in it, but I should have just had long layers. But I had a perm, and I had a perm on top of perm, because every time the roots would go flat, and it was the roots I wanted the body, because I had quite flat hair. So anyway, so I had a perm, then this horrible hairdresser kept cutting loads of it off. So every time I had a perm, she'd cut loads of it off, and she'd just say, oh, it's just the curl taking it up, and it wasn't. She hated me, and she was cutting it shorter and shorter. And so yeah, and then I dyed it red when it was perm, so I'd have red curly hair, different types of red, and I liked that, and it was still long, but then it was going shorter and shorter and shorter, and then I went to uni, and it was short and red and curly, and short, like shortish, like here, and then I was growing out the perm, and I decided to chop it myself, and I chopped bits off. And I had blonde at the front, like a Spice Girl. I was like, people call me Jerry. The boys at college called me Jerry and Dollface. And everybody knew who I was, but I wasn't popular. Especially not in the classes I was in. It's a bit weird. But all the mechanics, I was known. And I'm quite scared of groups of men, and they'd like sit there and shout at me and stuff. Anyway, yeah, I wanted big hair, and it was like blonde at the front and then red, and I used to just bleach that front bit, and then I did it all red, got rid of the blonde bit, and as I say, I chopped a load off, and it was like quite short. That's the shortest I ever had it. It was like, I always thought of it as quite French, because it was like this, and then it had this under bit, and then framing around the face. That was quite nice, but it didn't last long, because then I grew it out from there. And obviously I hadn't had a good experience with that other hairdresser, and that was the only hairdresser I'd been to, so that's why I cut it myself. And then I was in Liverpool at that point, and when I went into hairdressers in Liverpool, which I was intimidated by, and they were horrible to me. They didn't want to see me, they didn't want to do my hair, and it was very expensive, so I didn't end up getting anything done there. I wanted extensions, to be fair. I wanted my long hair back. And around that time, someone had told me that basically I dyed it like really dark red and like purpley red, and I used to wear a lot of black. And a friend of mine, sort of a friend who had a crush on me, told me that I was intimidating to men. And I didn't like the thought of being intimidating, because I didn't feel that inside whatsoever, so I had to sort of show that on the outside, how I really felt on the inside. So that's when I sort of used a colour remover and bleached it out and did it like a light brown, very, very light brown, and then I put highlights in it, and from then on I used to like dye it a blonde and put highlights in the top, and then I grew it out from there. By then it was going, and the instant change when I went blonde, for the reaction that guys would give me, and they were all nicer to me, and that sounds awful, but at uni, like, people were horrible to me, and just when I went blonde it was so much better. So yeah, I like being blonde, and I've been blonde since then, really. Although I've still got my natural under there. So then I grew it again from there. I still had curl in it, like it was wavy. It was wavy when I joined Boots, and blonde and long. And I dyed the underneath. At this point, I dyed the underneath dark brown. So it was two-tone, which was kind of the fashion then, and chunky streaks were in and stuff like that. And then gradually got rid of the kinks, got some really good straightness, started doing it more straight. And it's around that time actually I found a good hairdresser. I got accosted in the street by a very nice salesperson who gave me a really good deal. One of these things where you can have all these different things on a card for a certain amount of price, like a back massage and a pedicure and a manicure, and you know, your hair cut and colour and whatever. And I got addicted to that at that point, and I lived at home, so I could afford it. And that's about the time when I started having really good blow dries and stuff. I don't go to the hairdressers now because I can't afford it. I had to do it myself. Every now and again I get a hair cut, about once or twice a year. Oh, my camera's sticky. I better stop because it's 11 minutes. But basically, not a lot since then because I've still got long blonde hair, really. But now I like to play around with extensions and whatnot. And I'm sure this has been extremely boring because I couldn't remember a lot of the different styles I'd had, and I honestly haven't been to that many different hairdressers. I've been to about, actually, I have tried a few. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to end this here because it's 12 minutes now, and I may do another one tonight. I might not, because I can't remember what else. Oh yeah, supernatural one. And you're all probably getting sick of me now, so I might leave that actually. Yeah, I think I'll leave that till tomorrow. But I want to talk about supernatural. Okay, bye then.